Land of the Dead, Episode 1, The Whisper in the Night. My name is Chidi, and for years I have lived with one unanswered question: who killed my father? People in the village whispered stories. Some said it was sickness. Some said it was poison. Others said it was the curse of the evil forest. But no one told me the truth. I was only 10 when he died. I still remember the way my mother screamed that night. The way the lantern fell from her hands and shattered. My father's body shook on the mat. Foam pouring from his mouth, his eyes wide open as if he had seen something terrifying. And then, silence. Years passed, but the image of his death haunted me. At night, when the wind howled through the cracks of our old mud house, I would hear his voice calling my name: Chidi, come and know the truth. I tried to ignore it, but the whispers grew stronger. The dead do not rest when the living hide from the truth. So, on the night of the new moon, I made my decision. I would go to the forbidden place, the land of the dead. The elders warned us never to step near the evil forest, for it was said to be the gate where restless souls wandered. But my heart was burning with questions that no living man could answer. I tied a red cloth around my wrist, just as my grandmother once told me, the only protection against spirits. I carried a small lantern, though the wind fought to snuff it out. And I walked. The deeper I went, the colder it became. No crickets. No frogs. Just silence, heavy enough to crush my chest. My shadow stretched unnaturally long, as if something else was following me. Then I saw it, my father's grave. But it was no longer a mound of earth. The soil was open, and a faint mist rose from it, glowing pale in the moonlight. My hands shook as I stepped closer. "Father," I whispered. The ground trembled. And then, a hand black with decay reached out of the soil. My father's voice echoed, broken and hollow. "Chidi, you want the truth? Follow me into the land where the dead do not sleep." My lantern shattered. Darkness swallowed me. And that was the night my journey began. The night my father's hand rose from the grave, I thought my heart would stop beating. His fingers were bone and soil, his voice trembling like the wind in a graveyard. "Chidi," he called again, "follow me." Before I could run, the earth split open beneath me. I fell, screaming, into darkness. When I landed, I was no longer in the forest. I stood on the edge of a wide, black river. The water wasn't water, it moved like shadows, restless, whispering voices rising and fading as if souls were trapped inside. My father stood across the river. But he didn't look like the man I remembered. His body was pale and bruised, his eyes hollow, as if death had drained all his joy. "Father," I cried, my legs trembling. "What killed you? Why did you leave me?" His voice carried across the river. "I did not leave, Chidi. I was taken. Betrayed." The word betrayed cut through me like a blade. Betrayed by who? I wanted to ask, but before I could speak, something moved in the river. A long, twisted arm rose from the black water, pulling itself up. Its body was made of screaming faces, eyes rolling, mouths open in endless cries. The creature dragged itself to the shore nearest me, and I knew this was no place for the living. I turned to run, but the path behind me was gone. Only endless darkness stretched in every direction. The dead land had trapped me. My father raised his hand. "Chidi, you must cross the river of shadows if you want to know the truth. But once you step in, you cannot turn back." I shook my head, tears filling my eyes. "I'm not ready." But the river pulled at me, its voices chanting my name. "Chidi. Chidi, join us, know the truth." I stepped forward. The water clung to my legs like cold hands, dragging me deeper. Faces pressed against my skin, whispering their deaths, disease, betrayal, poison, murder. Their pain became mine. Halfway across, I screamed my father's name. And then I saw it. On the far side of the river, behind my father, stood a shadow taller than any man, its eyes glowing red, its smile wide and cruel. It leaned close to him and whispered something into his ear. My father's face twisted in pain. He looked at me with tears that burned like fire. Chidi, your father was killed by someone you love. The river swallowed me whole before I could hear the name.